Thanks so much for joining us today for BRMC's Healthy Connections. And Nancy, you have got some absolutely fabulous news. Tell us about what took place with the Fairlamb naming ceremony.
Well, we had a great day on May 8th. We opened a new senior health clinic called the Fairlamb Senior Health Clinic, and it cares for patients 65 and older. You do have to meet an age limitation to come there, but we work with all kinds of diseases, older adults. We do a comprehensive geriatric assessment there. In which when we do our assessment, it takes about 2 hours. I mean,
oh, wow.
Because they come in, we review their history and all their medicines, and then we do a memory test, and then we do a fall evaluation and see where they're at on, you know, what their risk is for falls. And then we do a complete physical, and if they need any tests they haven't had or that, we can order those for them. And if they have trouble with their memory tests, or if we feel that there's a need, we can set them up with a neuropsychologist that'll be coming in, you know, about every month or so. And also we have a case manager, Valerie Ray, that if we see there's needs, say if we think they have a risk for falls, then we do a home evaluation too, and you know, a social evaluation, like do they have someone to help them with laundry, to clean their house, or and so we look at the whole person, the whole perspective.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not going to be anything. I mean, people are no longer used to, you know, 15 minutes and that's it. You're in and you're out with most of your doctor's appointments.
Well, and that's the nice thing about the senior health clinic is we can spend 30, 45 minutes with the patient. And that gives us a little more time to do education, talk about their medicines or what their health care needs may be. And then if we see that there's a need, we can work with them to get services that they need to stay home and take care of their loved one at home. So, what a wonderful
opportunity, or another item to add to our glowing star that we have here in this community of healthcare. I mean, it's just wonderful.
Oh, I just think it's a wonderful thing. Of course, we have. We work with the Arkansas Aging Initiative to help bring this about, and there's like, I think 9 clinics across the state now.
I think we became the 9th.
We did. We did.
We were the 9th, and
this year,
very proud of that.
Oh, that's a big accomplishment. So
I was talking with one of our new physicians that's coming on board. She'll be here, ready to go by June 15th. Dr. Joanna Twombly, and we're talking about everything that is available to us technology-wise here at our hospital. It's just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
We're very blessed in this area to have. And even, you know, when you work with Alzheimer and dementia, I've had a lot of people, of course I've been working with that for several years now, and the resources available for our older adults here is really fabulous compared to a lot of other places. And I actually have a lady that came, she had moved from California to here. She was looking where to take her mom, and they didn't have the resources available that we have here in Baxter County for the older adult, and that was one of her main reasons for coming here.
For moving here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then the kindness that goes along, the kindness of the people living in the area, which is why so many of us have moved here to begin with.
Right.
It's just like a little more icing on the cake. So. And there's one of our biggest resources right there. Our Miss Debbie Love has taken over as the new coordinator.
I have.
Tell us what's going on over at the Muruck House.
Well, we have all kinds of things going on. The biggest thing probably is the Men's Health Forum that's coming up on June 12th. And we'll have all kinds of speakers and all kinds of booths. We'll have Dr. Nice will do the skin cancer screening. And we'll have Larry Dablamont, which many of the guys have probably heard of him. He's a great outdoor photographer, sports person from this area. Writes for a lot of the newspapers, has written a lot of books, so he's a big draw. Dr. Turkhurst will be there. And there are about 25 booths that we hope to have this year. We'll have some motorcycles for them to look at, some bicycles.
Oh my goodness.
Some boats, just all kinds of things. It'll be a fun day with free lunch, and that's on the 12th of June from 8:30 to 2:30.
8:30, and they need to call the Muruck.
They need to call us at 508-3880 and get registered.
Okay, because
So
that's always, those spaces fill up fast. Don't wait. You gentlemen out there that And you can, it's just guys. You can ask
Yes.
those
Just
questions
guys.
you've really wanted to know, and we're always afraid to ask. And,
Just guys.
and boy, Dr. Turkers will help tell you.
That's for sure. That's
He's
right.
always very
Yes,
entertaining
yes,
as well
he
as
is.
educational
Yes.
too. So
We also have Dr. Larry Wright coming from Springdale, and he'll be talking about life after retirement. He'll put a little bit of a different spin on things. He was one of the speakers at the Fairlam opening, and will be a great resource
Excellent,
as well.
excellent speaker.
Excellent
He was just
speaker.
excellent.
Yeah.
And I could see men saying, well, you know, I'm retired, I know what to do. Well, ask your wife if she's as happy with you retiring as you think you are. I always remember my mother-in-law when my father-in-law retired, and he would go, she had her own routine, you know, and she watered the plants on Tuesdays, and she did this on, you know, she baked on Thursdays, and he would go behind her and change things, and oh my goodness, and why was she sitting down at lunchtime watching that silly soap opera which she'd watched for a million years? So yeah, so gentlemen, you need to come and find out what to do after retirement.
Absolutely.
Debbie's done a great job, and she has gotten several great screenings set up that day, I know, and she was telling me the other day that they're going to do the virtual dementia tour there for the guys, so they can kind of see what
Now,
it feels
that
like.
was in today's paper.
It
Yes.
was.
So can you expand upon that just a little bit more about what you went through and what that is, the virtual dementia?
Sure. What happens is you try to simulate what a person with varying stages of Alzheimer's dementia might be feeling and going through. One of the things that we do is we put gloves on them to slow down the feeling in the
Tactile
fingers.
senses, sensory.
Goggles on, it impairs their vision. Many, I'm told, later on get macular degeneration after they've had it for a while. Also, the peripheral vision can go away. Then we also put a little CD player on that has a lot of scratchy sounds in it. And at times, I mean, I went through it myself, and at times you'll have sirens that go off, which are very startling. And we get you all suited up, and then we'll give you a set of verbal instructions, which will say, go into the room and find the sweater and put it on and zip it up, and then go find the coin purse with the change and write a letter to your family. Then we stop, and the person's left there to stop and think, now what am I supposed to do? And the feedback Friday was very insightful, because people say that it just is mind-blowing to them what particularly the caregivers, what the person they're caring for is probably going through.
They've just walked a mile in that other person's
Absolutely.
shoes. And I always remember too from years ago, and some professors talking about with the eyesight problems with Alzheimer's that can occur, and you know, you don't want something on a white plate, and how people will stop eating because they don't see that side of the plate anymore.
Right.
They actually did studies, and they found that they used white plates and they used red plates, and they found that they ate better on the red plates than they did the white plates. And another thing too is you got to watch for patterns on plates. And you know, dishes are so pretty nowadays, but if you get squiggly lines through there or little flowers, they mistake it and they can't differentiate the food from the pattern.
So they may
just
not
a plain
be
colored
eating
plate.
and getting the protein. Yeah.
So it's a lot of interesting little tricks out there when
Yeah.
you're working with the Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah, we found red was a great color to use, and it was for going from point A to point B, color coding things.
Oh, wonderful.
Was real well received, and but once again, you know, training folks to say just take and move that plate around, because they're not seeing as their eyesight diminishes.
Right.
That they're not seeing the food on that side of the plate. So turn it around, it's like, oh, there's a whole new meal there. So,
Right.
Yeah. But just little, as you say, tricks of the trade that you learn with folks that are suffering.
And there's lots of neat things you can do when you're working, you know, with trying to get someone with Alzheimer and dementias to eat. And they also say to kind of keep things simple. You know,
Finger
you don't
foods.
want, you don't want a tablecloth with a lot of designs. If you can use a solid color placemat and then a different colored plate. And of course, we now have utensils if they're having trouble holding. And so there's many tricks out there. And I know Debbie knows several for dealing with home safety and the different issues that come up. So.
I was real excited to hear you mention that as part of at the Fairlam clinic, that's one of the things as part of the assessment is the home evaluation.
Right.
So all those scatter rugs and all of those electrical cords that are exposed
Right.
that could be, trip hazards, that kind
And
of
we
thing.
actually have a great little book that we got from the Muruck Family Education
Education.
Center on Aging.
Yeah. We're all
and
getting
and
better
it gives
with
you
it.
a checklist of things you should look for, and it goes room by room by room what to look for. And of course, we ask about that. And if you're talking to someone or you see that they're having trouble getting up out of the chair or walking across a room, then you get a little more in depth and you ask about, are they able to get in and out of the bathtub? If they're having trouble getting in and out of the chair, they may be having trouble.
Right.
And so then maybe we can help them get set up with services or find them equipment that they need to make their bathroom safe and prevent those falls down the road.
Yep.
So.
Because once those falls start happening, that can be the beginning of the end. And I don't
Right.
mean to be doom and gloom, but
Right.
we see it so often.
Right. Well, and they say, I think it's like 50% that suffer a hip fracture or more end up in a nursing home.
Yeah.
So if we can prevent that, we're
Sure.
one step ahead of the game.
You
So.
bet.
But,
We have a support group for the Alzheimer's dementia as well that meets at the Muruck Family Education Center on Aging.
We've
Mouthful.
inserted that new word education in the name, and so we're all relearning.
And that meets on the fourth Friday at 3 o'clock, and that is open to anybody that wants to come in to get a little more education or a little more support. Very resourceful. They share a lot of ideas with each other, and a lot of times it's great to hear from other people that are going through a similar situation.
That you're not alone
Right.
on this journey that you're now taking called Alzheimer's or
Yeah.
dementia. Right.
And I just want to interject with that if you have a loved one and you need someone to stay with them, the Baxter Adult Daycare will watch your loved one while you attend the support group
Oh,
for
that's
free
great.
of charge.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
so that hopefully is not an issue. But when you're dealing with that kind of disease, you have good and bad days. And there's some days you're just not going to be able to get away, and then there's other days that everything kind of goes smooth. So.
Right.
But it's a great support group, great group of people that meet, and sometimes I say we learn more from each other, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error, and it would be great to get together with the folks that have already said yes, and I found this worked in my case, so with
Right.
my husband or with my wife or,
Right.
And two, trying to educate people and let them know that, not everyone who has dementia has Alzheimer's.
Right.
And so there's a lot of different causes of dementia. You can have Parkinson's can cause a type of dementia. I mean, if you suffered a lot of TIAs or mini strokes, you can have a vascular dementia, and a lot of diseases cause dementia. So we always got to be careful. It's nice to see because we also have just a lot of dementia in our area besides the Alzheimer's disease. So.
We need to take a short break. We'll
Okay.
be right back. Don't go away. We got a whole lot more to talk about with the Fairland Senior Health Clinic and the Muruck Family Education Center on Aging. We'll be right back.